because our deepest wounds often reveal our greatest purpose. Welcome to the Court of Connection. I have my dear friend Terri Lasater here with me today. Really excited about this conversation.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever told you this, but Terri, I've been in your presence so many times in certain really insecure moments, and I feel like you just being who you are has gave me permission to just
Nice.
be who I am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like that.
Whether you're on stage, whether you're in a meeting with me or whatever, right? I just feel like your presence is just it's so nurturing, it's so loving, and you're so who you are.
Thank
it gives
you.
people permission to be who they are. So
I love that.
yeah.
I love that. Permission to be who they are.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great compliment. My goodness.
Yeah, it's so true.
Yeah.
So I obviously know who you are, but tell for the people who are listening, who are you?
Well, that's a loaded question, but I am a serial entrepreneur. I've cannot go into an environment and a conversation or a networking group or anything and not create a business in my head as you're talking. It just is natural to me. But it's not for everybody. I'm a mom of 4 kids. I've been sober for a very long time, and I have a great business in construction by accident. It wasn't my idea, but God's idea has a bigger plan for me. So here I am owning a construction company for 20 years. But I love women. I have partners in female hustle gene, which we're launching at some point, but really diving into women and entrepreneurs in general. But I've been a business consultant for over 20 years as well. So I've helped businesses start, to expand, that kind of thing. I'm a jack of all, Jill of all trades.
And you sing, you perform.
That's true. I sing.
She's an amazing singer. I mean, the first time I heard you sing, I was like, holy shit, I didn't know you had that.
Yes.
Let's go.
I do. And I have a family of musicians. My brothers are musicians, and my mother was a musician, my aunts, and all of my kids are musicians. So
wow.
It's pretty fun.
Wow. What do your kids do?
So my oldest is a welder by trade, but he can play the guitar, he can play the bass, the piano, the drums. He writes, he sings.
Wow.
My 21-year-old is an electrician. He's a singer and a guitar player, and he writes beautiful work. My son Hayden, who's 20, he does a lot of recording and mixing and creates music that way, and has some amazing stuff recorded. And then my daughter is coming out as having a voice. She's so funny. All of a sudden she started singing harmonies with me, and I was like, oh my God, wow. Where have you been? She's like, I don't know, I'm the 4th.
Yeah.
I'm over here.
I'll
bring you out.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me, you've been in construction for 20 years. What did you do before that? What led to becoming an entrepreneur?
I was an entrepreneur before that. I was in health and wellness and fitness, and I was a personal trainer. So I had a lot of clients in that arena. I was a personal trainer at Westminster Manor. Manor. I got to train iconic people from Austin that helped build Austin.
Wow.
Yeah. I've owned a barbershop.
Wow.
As well, and helped that barbershop 20 years ago to build in the California area and expand. But I've helped a donkey rescue. It was, I have just said, yes, I hardly ever say no. Actually, I say no more now than I used to, but I just, I have it in you. I have it in me. So I was my own personal trainer. I did not work under a company or anything. I built clientele and
wow. Yeah. So what do you think stands in the way of because we had talked on the phone recently, and you said women kind of stand in their own way. There are these internal blocks or creative blocks. What are the things that you're seeing that are coming fast?
One of the reasons we created the Female Hustle Gene is because we had some experience there. So I, as a single parent, most of my parenting life, had to make my way out of necessity. And so hustling really was, natural to me. It was part of my entrepreneurial spirit, but I really had a deep-seated need. And I think that we, as a young mom, I thought there was all of these cultural norms that the way I was supposed to be. And I never lived up to that, ever. And finding a way to be a single mom of 4 kids, how was I going to afford daycare? Couldn't. How could I be creative and find a way to a career that would actually take care of them? And that was also satisfying to me, or at least in the hustle of things, I would find myself. And so what I found is that there were a lot of women like me. I raised those kids and they're adults. I'm hoping they leave at some point. but I'm like, I'm not sure, anyway, I've created a whole environment where I don't know why they would leave. So now I'm like, oh, I don't know how that happened, but I did. Like a compound in my house. So, but what I saw is, a lot of us have dreams. I mean, all of us have dreams. All of us have passions. All of us have things. And what happens is all the noise that gets in the way, the family culture, what you think you're supposed to be, playing the roles that you think you're supposed to play, and our culture in general, right? Overall, that tells us that we can't, gives us limitations. And I found that there was no hurdle that a woman could not jump over or just, walk around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also like really coming to truths about who we are. We have a lot to give and offer.
We do.
And the nurturing, like you mentioned, is such a great gift. I love that that's the way that you feel around me. That's an amazing gift. Singing is a great gift and it brings me joy, but I don't need to go on the circuit. I don't need to go get famous and go tour around the world. Yeah, and I don't have it like that. But just saying, I could go around Austin and play. I could, you know what I mean? So I think that when people were starting to come to us with the Female Hustle Gene, it really stopped. It was about a business. And what happened is it opened up this whole big stack of wounds and things that they were filling, or we as women were filling in, that were not satisfying anymore. They didn't buy into the creativity and the expansiveness that we have to offer, nor did it give us permission to be aligned with who we truly are. I think it's a gift that women, when I see women that are truly in their own power, it exudes.
Yes.
You can't help but notice.
Yes.
They light up a room, right? And so it opened up this space for women to start really actually looking. You don't realize it. We don't realize that we've gone down this hole and lost ourselves in different areas. We talk about the motherhood syndrome where we lose ourselves in our children. Great. But we also have the opposite, where we have, that cultural normal, I'm not losing myself, where we put everything aside and there's a balance,
right?
Right. And so what happened is we have all these tools and creative parameters that we started to tap in, allow women to tap into what really was stopping them.
Yeah.
You know? And once they could see that, then they could start making moves.
Mm-hmm.
They could start taking action.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And we just are along for the ride.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, go.
Spread your wings.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that stops me, because I'm like on this precipice of like, I feel myself stepping out of this, you know, I'm not supposed to be a 9-to-5 girl. I'm just not.
Yeah.
You know, I have so much more in me. I know that I'm tapping into that. But what stops me is like needing to know what it's going to look like. You know, like my logic stops it. My mind of like, well, what exactly is it going to look like? Is it going to be successful? What happens if I fail? You know, and that fear starts to get in the way. And it's like, I think that's probably true for a lot of us, where it's like, well, this is safe over here. If I stay here, I'll have a consistent paycheck. It's predictable, right?
Sure.
So like, did you ever have to work through that fear of your own, or were you just like
every day?
Yeah.
Every day. And here's the thing, that's boring for me.
Yeah.
But it's the fear of success and the fear of failure.
Mm-hmm.
That's two different avenues, but one of the same. So the fear, and it's also this inability to see that so with the construction, I knew nothing about construction. It was an accident. My ex-husband was moonlighting with a spray foam rig. He was a mechanic, so he could work the parts for a custom home builder. I got fascinated because it was a green building product, and the good old boys in Austin, they didn't want any, new things. And so it was cool to like talk to them and create this like networking. I started going to networking events with builders, custom home builders. I started going to networking at the Green Building Council. I started building a business around him, and he was like, what happened? It's like, I don't know. I can't help myself. What do I do with my hands? And he was like, I wasn't interested. And he left and left the family and left the business. And those guys were calling me. The builders were calling me and asking me to do all. And I just said yes. And they started asking me to do more things. And I'm like, okay. I just hired people. I just subcontracted everything out, and I could see the big picture. I'm a big picture gal. So it worked out because I could see how things should move. And I failed and failed and failed. And it cost me a lot of money. And who cares? I had waited tables for 13 years. I'm as good as the next, night anyway.
Yeah. Right.
Cash daily. So I was only as good as my next job anyway. So the hustle's still in there. The hustle, it's a new game. Every job is a new game. Every client is a new game. And so I knew nothing about construction, but I wasn't afraid of taking a risk.
Yes.
And I think that's a different perspective. I think it's a switch of, what if I fail? What if you don't fail? And I would say, all my failures have been my master's program. Now I have nothing but referral business. I have nothing but women asking me how I did it,
Yeah.
And I have made bad decisions in business, and I've made really great decisions in business. And who cares?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's really rough. I can do rough. You can do rough.
We did rough.
We do rough.
Yeah.
We had babies, or we had divorces, or anything. Addiction.
Loss.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Loss. All of that. So the risk becomes, if I don't take a risk, I will never know.
Yeah.
And I don't want to live my life never knowing.
So true.
I don't.
I saw this this kid. He's actually from Austin, and I don't know if you've seen his videos, but he goes around and he will just randomly walk up to somebody who has like a really nice vehicle, like over $100,000. Have you seen his videos?
Yeah, and he says,
he's like, "Hey, can I chat with you for a second?"
Yeah.
And he'll ask questions like, "Are you a self-made millionaire? Did you?" And one of the questions that he always asks is, what is the number one thing that you would tell people who are, you know, wanting to be an entrepreneur? And all of them say, I took the risk. I took a risk and I didn't question if I was going to fail or if I was going to lose money. I just did it.
Yeah.
You know? And that simply is like what I was telling you earlier about the podcast.
Yeah.
It's like when I move, the universe moves.
Yeah.
When I decide, fuck it, I'm all in.
That's
the universe moves with you.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. Fascinating to me. If you keep your eyes open, it is so fascinating how things line up. So fascinating.
It's so true.
Right? Yeah. And why would I want to miss that?
Right.
That's the fun part. Sitting in a 9-to-5, working for somebody. And I get like, there is something to be said about not having your own business and working for someone else. There's something to be said for that. The hustle is really can be, you know, at 55, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I want to build an empire. I've kind of built the empire that might be it. And do I need to go any further? I don't know. Maybe not really. I'm good right here. I have enough business for a year and a half. Not bragging about that. Just saying, maybe I don't want to build an empire anymore.
Yeah.
And what would that look like? And that becomes how I start to align with my true self, right? Like I don't have to. 2 years ago, what I felt and my trajectory, my actions, my power was building an empire. And I did it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, ooh, that was probably not the right time or whatever. And my master's program. So what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is the difference in your energy at that point versus now? What changed?
Oh, that's a good one. I think sometimes, and you're talking about from 2 years, or are you talking about just in general, like
however
when I was younger?
Yeah.
I think it was a desperation when I was younger and a young mom with 4 kids and all of that. I think there was a level of desperation that kept me fighting for it or hustling. I don't like the word fight really, but hustling for it. And trying this way, if it didn't work, okay. And trying to get more than one stream of income out of one type of business. I really love that idea. And I think that once I could see that this was actually making me a living, you know, this could be my mainstay and it actually is great and I'm actually good at it, then I could say, okay, I can coast. I don't need to be the best builder. I don't need to be, you know, and there were some humbling moments. And I think that's important too. And as you know, age is one thing. For God's sakes, age. Leaning into your gray hair, you know.
Which I fucking love, by the way. I think I tell you that every time I see you. I'm like, what the fuck? This just like, it happened overnight, but I'm obsessed.
Well, my girl Marty told me years ago on a plane, I don't remember where we were going, but she was like, what if you grew your gray hair out? And I was like, I'm 45. I was like, I'm not growing my gray hair out. Weirdo. And then I just started looking and see how things happen, seeds happen. And you know, 5 years later, I'm like, okay, I did the COVID blonde. That was a bad idea. It was so bad. And so I was like, well, maybe this is the time. Let's just see it because I could always go back. Right. And it turned out to be a pretty gray, you know, like
beautiful.
Thank you. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have this random gray streak in the back.
Love it.
There's a birthmark.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm just rocking the natural. I mean, this is off topic, but whatever. I would say 5 years ago, I had long extensions, blonde hair, lashes, like all the things, right? And I have totally started to like strip away from all of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. If people love to do that, that's great.
Sure.
I sure did then. But for me, it started to feel like this like mask or this like way to hide, you know?
And go ahead. I think that's a huge point. I think as you're coming into yourself and aligning with your true self, your natural beauty can't help but come out. Like your soul wants that.
Yeah.
Right? The masks and all the things that we put in. And I love a good look, a good set of lashes.
Sure.
I love all that. But also what becomes important changes, It's not so much that I need to be or look a certain way as much as feel and move in a way that's very gentle and loving and kind and soft.
Yeah.
I love that. And soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, because I want to talk about that, you mentioned some humbling moments. Can you talk about some of those?
Yeah, I
navigated that.
But yeah, to be honest, it's been a very interesting year to really look at myself and the narrative I've created about myself. I have been shocked at being the level of dishonesty I had about myself and who I was. Like I'm thinking, I'm rocking and rolling. I've got this huge business. I'm networking. I'm on magazines. I'm doing barbershop things. That we're all over the place, and all of that's fun. And I was listening to this podcast today, and it's talking about the soul and the ego, and how the soul can't help itself but speak.
Yeah,
it's authenticity. And that the pride gets in there. We have to have some pride, right? But that can take over where you're not hearing your own natural soul. And it's connected from generation to generation to generation. It's in your DNA, right? And how to pay attention to that. And so to circle back to your point, I don't know what I was talking about. What?
Being humbled.
Yeah. So being humbled. So it's been a transformation. It's been, and even the Bible talks about like sin to, I'm going to mess this up. I'm going to mess it up. Basically, we have it opposite. Like God's forgiveness, God's grace, that kind of thing is really important to me to see that I think faith without works is dead, right? And so I'm going. I'm getting accolades. I'm on top of the world. I have nothing but referral business. I have so many leads. I can't even keep up with them. It's great. About employees, all of that. And I'm about to crash and burn. I'm about to crash and burn. And I think that the humility from changing.
Sorry.
Oh, did it go? No. From seeing that the narrative that I had created about myself wasn't really true, with some of the decisions I had made were coming crashing down.
Yeah.
And talk about a failure that transformed and transposed me to look at it in a completely different way with grace. That we can do the next right thing. We can get up every single day and go. And if I'm doing the work for my pride and ego, then that's not faith.
Right.
That's me taking over.
Right.
Right.
And not fulfilling.
It's extremely unfulfilling.
Yeah.
And isn't that funny, that parallel?
Yeah.
And so the humility of seeing that the narrative I had created all these years, like when we're a kid, we create coping mechanisms. But when we get older, those coping mechanisms as a kid don't work for my adult self anymore, right?
Right.
And so this narrative wasn't lining up to what the consequences were for decisions that I made, right? And so as that's unfolding, I'm like, who am I at all? And it's like this rebirth of, who do I need to be?
Yeah.
Or who do I want to be? Or why is there something definitive that why do I need to define all this? What if I just be and present and with God and, what's the next right thing?
Yeah. And that, I've been doing a lot of spiritual work around like I feel like we fight our human parts so much, but it's also part of the experience, right? The part of the experience is to fail, is to feel disappointed, is to feel scared, is to feel, and so many of us like run from that or push that down. Or, I had a sponsee call me the other day and she was like, I'm just feeling super nervous. When a 10th step, and I've been praying and it's not going away. And I'm like, when did we decide that nervousness was a bad thing? Why are we trying to pray this away? Why can't we, like, let's lean into that? Like, hey, nervousness, it's okay. Come on in. Like, you can be here with me. We're not going to push you away, you know? But I feel like, I don't even know why this got brought up, but like what you were saying was like this journey of just like leaning into like, okay, I made some bad decisions. Okay, I fell out of alignment. How can I meet myself with love and grace and not need to judge, but just wake up and acknowledge that doesn't really feel aligned to me, you know? And I'm going to move in this.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Right. And my sponsor said some interesting things about being humbled and humility. And I think at the beginning of sobriety, I thought everything was humiliating, and I didn't want to be humiliated.
Sure.
Right. So I couldn't be honest about that. It was the best I had at that time. But now I had to go through some humiliation in order to be humbled. Yeah. I get it now. Like, it's like, I have to go there. I have to crash. I have to fail in order to I have to see what is stopping me from moving forward. Right. Yeah. I have to see the hurdles. I can't just wish it away. Right.
Do you feel like some of that like hustling and grinding the last couple of years was like maybe avoiding other parts of your life?
It's a good question. And that is spot on. And then what this does, walking through this transformation right now, is it forces me to slow down.
Yes. And
it's proper. It's appropriate, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In this time and right?
Yeah.
Of my life.
Such a hard, we've been, as a feminine energy, it has been so suppressed, right? And we have just for decades, many, like probably centuries, right?
Sure.
And that energy in us has been suppressed, and we've been in this masculine energy where it's like do, fix, logic, get out of my way, I'll do it, And I feel like as a collective that we are all moving into this like era of like softness and really like our systems wanting to slow down, like wanting to be like taken care of, wanting to be, and I say that lightly, right? Connected. Yeah. Right. Just like present in our bodies, right? Which is another thing I want to chat with you too, because I know we both kind of struggled in that area of, at moments in our life, right? Of body image stuff and not, like how that all correlates with like forcing us out of our body. If I'm like thinking, I'm either asleep and doing these other behaviors, or I'm so obsessed with my body that I'm like focusing on how to change it. It's keeping me out of my body.
Right. Present.
Yes.
And appreciative.
Yes.
Yeah, I had this really big epiphany over COVID. I was having some health issues, and I changed everything I ate. I walked every day, all the things, and I lost about 50 pounds. And but I had this whole meditative like connection with my body, this love affair with my body. And it was this thankfulness. I would thank my body for all that it's held, all the pain, all the fear, all of the struggles, all of the joys, all of the babies, all the everything, the tragedies, and it was looking at my body as this space that felt and held space for it. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful experience. And so I was fine with my body. Now I'll tell you that. And I got plastic surgery. I've done every diet. I've talked to my friends into every diet. I had everybody on COVID buying $300 juicers and doing celery juice every day. And I finally said, I'm not going to drink any more celery. I'm like, okay. But that's who I am, right? They know how I am. Let's try this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll get Marty on the bandwagons, you would believe. But my friend Marty. And so, and here's the thing. My body had given life to 4 human beings. Mm-hmm. And I was a good mom. I am a good mom. And I'm a good mom who has made mistakes. Yeah. Right. And which is a whole other conversation too. So when I started to make money, I started to save money. I started to do the research. I did all of the things. I did not just jump into, I got to cut all this off. Oh, it was, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I felt really healthy about that decision. And it's helped me to actually be healthier. Mm-hmm. So, and that was the approach I took with that. Now I'll tell you that I had a couple other surgeries after that because I liked it so much. That was the problem. Yeah. When the first one, it was the second one. Yeah. Right. And so, because I could get obsessive about that kind of stuff. But I have to go back to, I appreciate my body the way that it is. And you know, this whole journey of going back to my roots. Like I went to college for health and wellness promotion and a minor in nutrition. I got into all kinds of weird things, you know, barbershop. I don't cut hair. You don't want me cutting hair, you know, and then just to go back to that naturally. So I'm taking classes again and getting recertified and taking nutrition and holistic approaches and energy and all the things that make me happy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So what has that been like? What's the journey been like for you to like slow down and soften and come back to yourself and kind of maybe let the hustle be over here? What has that been like for you?
I'll tell you, at the beginning, it was real painful. Mm-hmm. And I can remember exactly standing on my back porch. She'd been on my back porch and just feeling the wind and smelling the air and taking a deep breath and going, my gosh. Oh my gosh. And that started that journey of maybe I don't want to hustle and grind as much anymore. Or maybe I look at it, the hustle and grind, a little bit differently, like curiosity or thankfulness or appreciation for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so you said it was hard at first. Were there like, was it uncomfortable to just like physically slow down? Like, with yourself more? What were some of the scariest things that came?
No, I don't think it was that. I think genuinely having a practice for a long time of waking up slow and meditating and praying and doing the things that kind of get me set for my day. Mm-hmm. Doing that practice for many years, I was already in practice of slowing down. Mm-hmm. But I think the humility is what really changed my angst and my let's go and my we've got to run. My hustle is a lot different, right? And it was a little painful to like go, oh, that's not serving you anymore. Or that's not serving. That's not the narrative that's happening here, right? And that whole process at the same time, because God's huge, you know, is a little painful. And then it's like you get to the realization that you have no control again and again and again, depending, you know. So getting to that, you know, it's a little painful. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Was there this narrative of like, who am I without all of this? Did any of that come up?
It wasn't so much who am I without all this as it was who am I
with it,
without it, just to the left, to the right.
Yeah.
Who am I at all? Yeah.
What would you say was like the some of the biggest discoveries on this journey of figuring out who you were?
I think I'm still figuring it out, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that there's no limits, you know,
Yeah.
that there's worldly limits. Like there's limits where I thought that I could overcome, that I don't see that anymore. There's some things that I will say I can't, and God is bigger than that.
Yeah.
And so the true act of letting go has become huge, because that was the hardest thing for me to learn. How do you let go of what I'm thinking? Right.
Yeah.
What's in my brain is just what's in my brain. Right.
Yeah.
And so going, letting go means I don't have to have all the answers. I don't have to figure out what's going to happen in the future. Because if I'm being authentic, if I'm still discovering the hurdles that are in my way today are very different than the hurdles that were in my way 20 years ago or 10 years or 5. Right. If I'm staying in the moment and looking at that, then really there's no need to control. I'm just going to do what's in front of me. If it's like throwing that spaghetti, it doesn't matter. Right. One's going to hit.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, so I've been in this era of, obviously I'm in recovery, and there's so much about the role that I've assigned myself in those spaces for so long, and it's less about the space and more about like what I felt like it gave me meaning, or it gave me worthiness to be so available all the time, and having my hands in this and having my hands in that, and being on this committee and being, sponsoring all the right. And I felt this about midway this year, I felt this deep call to pull back. Yeah. To pull back and so the reason I was asking all those questions is because for me it felt like such an ego death, because the things that were coming up for me were like, you're going to be forgotten. You're not important. You're irrelevant, right? Which is so silly and dumb to say out loud, but like for someone who found so much of her like self-worth in being needed, it was like, well, who am I if I'm not needed? Which was like
stripped, honey.
Yes,
stripped, and that's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah,
I've discovered that I have to be stripped of all of that in order for me to actually hear God and hear my purpose. Yeah. And so my question to that was proposed to me was, what is your purpose here in all this hustle? It was to build an empire so that I didn't have to work so much in the field anymore, so that I could go on vacation and get my, nails done and get my massage, and so that I could retire early. That was my purpose. Yeah. And my sponsor said, funny, I did not hear you say anything about the people that you employ and how their families are how they're building a career to take care of their families. For this, I had no big, huge purpose. Yeah. And the purpose was ego driven. Yeah. So it wasn't aligned with my soul anymore. Right. Like you're saying, you had this halt, and I have to be stripped of that in order to see that the narrative that I've created, that was of importance, was actually my ego. Totally. Right. And then to say, well, what is my narrative? Well, it's not done. Like it's not done. So I don't know what my narrative needs to be or has to be. Yeah. It doesn't really have to be anything. If I'm true to myself and I'm lining, just taking that action and it's sticking, okay. Yeah. We'll go here. Yeah. Because I can't be open to that. Right. Right. I know. And what you said this on the phone the other day, that there's this sweet spot of like uncertainty that feels exciting, where it's like, I don't know what's going to, and I feel like that's exactly where I'm at too, where it's like, I don't know that I feel super excited about it all the time yet. I do at moments, but like I mentioned earlier, the logic keeps coming in and it's like,
well, but what is it going to look like? But what is it, and it's like, shut the fuck up,
That's right.
Like, who knows? Who knows?
Fire that.
Yeah. And that's why I've been trying to like befriend that stuff, those parts, rather than resisting them and being like, why are you here? It's like, oh, interesting. You're really panicking right now. I can feel your energy. It's okay.
Yeah.
You can panic, but also like everything's going to be just fine.
And lean into it, like you said earlier, but to remain curious.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
So like, what if? Well, I'm just going to remain curious. I'm just looking at something because I'm curious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Female Hustle Gene, walk me through what that looks like. If I was a client and I wanted to, I was exploring all of that, how would that look?
Well, we do, a free intake, and there's 3 of us. So you have a behavioral scientist, and a serial entrepreneur like me who's ran and developed 6 or 7 different businesses for the boss that she had. Now she's doing it for Shell. And myself, who's done nothing but run businesses and helped other businesses to hustle.
Yeah.
So what we do is a lot of combination of questioning at the beginning that helps us to devise an entire program. And sometimes we'll go off of that, and it naturally, organically grows. So it's a lot of discovery based on what there is homework and things like that. Not a lot of homework, but to get you going and thinking about who are you really, right? What is it that you want to do? Sometimes we start off with a client who has an idea for a business, and by the end of it, that's already done, and we've decided on a different type of business, right? Or it's someone who comes in. So we have packages where we do basically a 2-hour discovery call, and then we have weekly hour-long sessions with you, Zoom sessions. So sometimes we do on-sites.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's been fun to kind of grow from that. But so yeah, that's our goal, is to break down what's keeping you from being who you are or want to be, and based on all those cultural norms that have been created for you, by you, by your family, DNA, it's in your genes. All of that is considered. What are you doing for you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. I actually did this. I'm going to this retreat in February with this woman named Rebecca Silent. She's such a powerhouse.
Nice.
And I did a coaching call with her. It was like an hour and a half, and it was insane the amount of breakthroughs I had in an hour and a half. But one of the things that she did was help me see how I have this like glass ceiling where my mom's idea of success is. And how there's like this carried guilt that I have of like, I'm going to be more successful than her and then some, and my dad, and how like I have capped myself at this point, right? And she said, she's like, the interesting thing, Danielle, is like that there's a door at the ceiling. It's never been locked.
Yeah. Right.
And so she had me walk my little inner child up the stairs with me and open the door. And she said, when you get up past the ceiling, I want you to turn around and I want you to look down. And I turned around and I looked down, and the minute we got through the threshold, my little girl was fucking jumping for joy. Like, I was like,
that's so great.
So fucking excited.
Oh, that's so great.
Oh my God, thank God you're taking us past this fucking point.
Yeah.
But the whole point is that you're so right. It's so much of our old belief systems, and it's like, what are those?
Yeah.
Are they your moms? Are they your dads? Are they societal? Are they just some shit you picked up along the way?
Exactly.
That you're living, breathing, that you're not even aware of.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And why can't I get there? Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that. And that's a lot of it. That's a lot of it. Seeing what is keeping you
Yeah.
From your parents, from your childhood, your coping mechanisms, all of those things are important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then getting to have some tangible things like, okay, hey, we want you to do this by next week. You're going to fucking do this, you know? And that's
they do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of us just need some coaching, you know?
We all need coaching. Yeah. We all need it. And it's really, you have all of that within you.
Sure.
We're just bringing it out. Right?
Yeah.
So you are discovering this for yourself all along.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. We just got pictures from a lady that had a baby she got pregnant during the time and married and all this stuff. And it was a beautiful thing that we get to, she sends pictures of babies to us, you know? I guess it's the feminine energy, the connection that you were talking about at the beginning is so powerful.
Oh my God.
And genuine. And it's, it's a knowing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are fucking powerful. Way more powerful than men.
Well, let's throw it out there.
Yeah. And we are, you know, we are. And that's okay. They're powerful in their own right.
That's right.
And we need them, you know, to balance everything out.
That's right.
We're honestly pretty powerful. Yeah. I love being a woman so much. Yeah.
It's nice.
It is.
It's a nice deal. I love being a woman too.
Me too.
Yeah.
So are you going to bring in your nutritional stuff into this scene, or is that going to be something separate? Tell me about that.
I am going to do it separate, but we are looking at a holistic approach. You know, we are looking at energy. We're looking at NET therapies. We're looking at, which is amazing. Have you done an NET therapy?
No, but I've heard a lot about it.
So it is a way to connect to your, I've talked a lot about your DNA, your ancestors, that kind of thing, and how, what has happened then to our ancestors is actually in our DNA.
Oh, for sure.
Right. And so I remember we used to talk about generational curses, right? Remember that? And so it's along that line, generational trauma, and letting go of all that stuff and being disconnected because it's stored in our bodies.
Totally.
All of that type of energy, how our bodies have been, it's the same thing as the small child. Thank you for taking care of all that you've taken care of. And it's time to let it go.
Yeah.
And then it frees you. It's such a freeing, beautiful, peaceful moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you're incorporated in that, and then you'll see clients individually.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I really don't know. I think that, I could make it as big as I could make it. Right now, I just see my whole, I may open a cafe. We don't know, girl.
I love that.
I had this vision from when I was young, actually, of an entire area with a farm and a chef and a restaurant and acupuncture and yoga and meditation, all these things in one area. I've had it my whole life.
So cool.
Personal training, all of it, because that's how I think. You've got to go big or go home. But in reality, I don't know. I may not do that either.
Yeah.
There are a few women that are doing some things that I like, and the rest of it is just the same old. Anybody can put together a plan and sell it and that kind of stuff. I'm not real interested in that.
Yeah.
I really want to look at the whole family system, I think.
Love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was something I was going to ask you, and I left my mind.
And I'll say this too. Let me add this. Everything in your lives, everything in my life is affected by the way that I take care of myself. Everything.
Yeah.
If I'm losing myself, I'm lost in everything. Right? And I'm not good at anything.
Right.
If I am holistically approaching my life and it touches every part of my life. My sobriety touches everyone who comes into contact with me, just like my alcoholism did. It's the same concept. It's the same principle. that when I take care of myself mentally, spiritually, and physically, it's in the book.
Yeah.
Physically.
Right.
Mentally. That's all the energy and the meditation and the going to God and all these things. And spiritually, physically, and spiritually.
Yeah. It's so true.
So I cannot be successful in business if I'm not successful in taking care of this whole.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I was at this past year. I mean, this past year has been hard. It's the year of the snake. I think it's been hard for a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Just shedding, lots of dark shadow work, you know?
Can't believe it.
It literally, it's been, I mean, and if you look at the astrology transits, it makes total fucking sense. But, which by the way, do you have Virgo in your chart?
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm a Libra.
Yeah. You are like, you've got to have some Virgo in your chart. The way that you're.
I have Virgos all around me.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I love my Virgos.
Didn't go get her.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. I have Virgo in my Mars in communication.
Yeah.
So that's it. But as far as action.
I probably do.
Yes.
I can't keep up with that. I can't wrap my brain around it.
Yeah.
You know, but it is so fascinating to me. Or I do too. I love it.
I'll have to do your chart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I was saying is that's what I was up against myself, where I was bleeding myself dry just in all of these areas, showing up like shit, you know? And so it was like, okay, we need to reevaluate like how much you're giving and like turn it inward. And that was such a weird concept coming from recovery, where it's like, think about others, and I think sometimes that can get really misunderstood.
Very much so.
You know, where it's like, that doesn't mean we bleed ourselves dry.
That's
right? Like, I can't come to you from an empty well and think that I'm going to give you shit, you know? And I could feel like it was just overwhelmed all the time, you know? And so.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a space and time, there's seasons of your life, right? Sure. Where you can maybe be that and then not, you know? Yeah. I was okay not being PTA mom for the fourth time.
Yeah.
Let the young, you know what I mean? It's the same concept, but and I don't think that, like I mentioned, faith without works is dead, but for an alcoholic, I'll take that work and run it to the ground.
Yeah.
But based on what I look like.
Right.
Instead of what
from the heart.
From the heart.
Just leading, totally not leading from the heart.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fascinating.
Yes, it is. What's bringing you joy right now in your life?
Watching my kids make mistakes and figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much joy. A new relationship that is full of love and easy and peace and safe. Yeah. And I'm really enjoying the relationships that I have. And like, I'm really enjoying getting older. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying discovering new things and not knowing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a gift to not know everything, really, truly. So tell everybody where they can find you if they're interested, and if we have some female entrepreneurs that are just needing some support or just feel stuck.
Oh, you can femalehustlegene.com. You can find us there. We have an Instagram. You can find me on Terri at domainconstructiontx.com. I also have an Instagram, and you can email me at any time for any part of that. So
nice. I'll link all that in the.
Sure. I'll give you all the links and I'm an open book.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. If you can leave our audience with one, just bit of advice going into this next year, what would you say?
That's a good question. Sit still. Sit still. Find yourself. Find your safe space. Be vulnerable. take risks. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's happening in the collective, I tell you.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love
Terri,
it.
thank you so much.
Yes, I love you, Dora.
So much. You are amazing. It is so just sweet to be in your presence.
And yours as well.
Yeah.
Just love it. Proud of you. This is great.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, may the cord that binds us to one another and to Source remind you that you are never alone, always guided, and always home. Until next time.